basically been facing different kind of headwinds. We've seen government revenue fall drastically. We've seen multiple devaluations. So far now, we've seen devaluation drop. The Naira devalued by about 23%. We have also seen inflation rates, top 12.8%. We've seen prices of goods and services that a lot of us buy every day. So when you say here inflation rate, it sounds like it's just one number, but we all know that the cost of yam is no longer what it is, before rise. We've also seen prices of fuel that we all use, also go up in line with the price of oil. And then there's been lockdowns, economic lockdowns, which means a lot of us have experienced loss of revenue. Our businesses have not been able to hit the same peak that it was in early March. So customers haven't really come back, depending on the kind of sector that you're in, actually. And also, people haven't been able to travel. You've not been able to leave the country to maybe travel to explore other countries, or to try and bring in your own goods and services that you can sell to your market. So there has been different implications, ramifications. And then even when you try to invest, you realize that you haven't been able to invest as much as you can because interest rates are now very, very low. So you have money in the bank, and the money in the bank can really earn you a lot. If you decide to invest, there's really very few places that you can invest because interest rates are very low. Inflation rates is very high. And then you can't even buy dollars even if you wanted to buy dollars. So it's a really tough situation for everybody in the country, and it's going to be difficult for people to cope. But amidst all these issues or challenges, people have actually been profiting as well. So I've interviewed a lot of entrepreneurs, and most of them have, experienced a boost or a boom in their businesses. They've seen this as an opportunity, and they've seized on the opportunity to expand their business, to even change their business model entirely and cater to new markets and new demands, because COVID-19 has meant that behavioral change has taken place, has actually been dominant. People have changed their behavior, how they consume, how they buy food, how they go out, how they work, how they interact, how they communicate, how they reach out. So people have changed, even what they need. Changes have happened and priorities have been reordered. So what it means is that people who are smart businessmen have identified these gaps or this change in behavior, and have now tapped into that market and trying to provide what people actually need at the moment. So that's what you're seeing happening, and it is people who are able to adapt to things like this that end up benefiting the most, and not those who are just waiting. The global economy is not going to come back to where it was until we find a vaccine. In fact, until months after we find a vaccine. And there's been, stories about vaccine being developed and being tested. So we're still 3 months or 3 or 4 months away from a vaccine. And that's like first quarter of next year. So until then, you're not going to see things return back to where it was pre-COVID-19. So people have said 2020 is a year of waste, perhaps. I mean, on general terms. But for some people, it's been an amazing year. It's been a remarkable year because they've seen their bottom line go up. Because there's been new demand. There's been new, like I said earlier, behavioral change that has created new opportunities for people. So those who have been able to seize on that opportunity, will be very grateful to COVID-19. And, but a lot more people who have not been able to seize that opportunity are the ones that will probably be wishing for COVID-19 to just go as quickly as it came. So that in a nutshell is my summary of what's happening, and I'm ready to take on questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ugo. Thank you so much. That's been very insightful. It's given a brief background of what SMEs are facing, the challenges that are faced by SMEs, while some it's been a remarkable year for them. For others, it's been a year of waste. So I want audience to ask questions on how we can successfully navigate or position ourselves better as SMEs, to tap into what is going on. While we're waiting for the audience, Ugo, can we talk about how can these SMEs deal with this fear? Because a lot of them are still afraid. So fear is the thing. You're still afraid of the virus.
Yeah, so that's what I said. I said earlier that you can't deal with this virus with fear. You have to see it more as an opportunity. The period of fear has passed, and that was maybe the first month or first 2 months. I think that what you need to really look at what you need to do is also change your own behavior, because your customers have changed their behavior in terms of what they want to consume and how they consume it. So for you, that's what you also have to look at. Say to yourself, look, you can't be afraid. You have to take a step back and we look at your business and figure out how you can confront the opportunities that are out there. I'll give you an example. There was a lady I interviewed a few days ago, and she basically she's into production of local clothes, dresses, fashion, bags, and all that. So she does it here herself. She has a factory here, and she goes to China to buy her materials, and then comes in here and then does the stuff. So, and according to her, last year was a lot of struggle for her because it was difficult for her to get by. But this year has been amazing for her. Why? Because she owns a production outfit where she does fashion, and all she basically did was to design a lot of the face masks that you see people wearing now, all these very transparent face masks and all that. That's what she does, and then she's made a killing doing that. She's basically nearly doubled her staff, and then and she's basically earning more than she ever thought she could earn this year. So it's been an amazing journey for her. And interestingly as well, she also says that people still buy things online. So even though people don't have where they are going to, people are still willing to spend money on fashion and then just dress themselves in front of the mirror and look good. And because people are dealing with all sorts of psychological issues and emotional issues, and you only look for things that look good. And what makes you look good is fashion, is looking good, is good food, fitness. Yeah, so people would always be interested in things like that because it makes them look good. We've also heard stories from people who are into content. So they've said that, look, being able to provide content either on social media or on TV, on radio, has been amazing for them because people are at home and they're bored. So people are looking for different kind of content to chew on, and then they provide this content to them. And if you notice, you've seen the rise of Instagram comedy across, and people are doing that now. So they go on Instagram and then they make comedy, and then they get advertisers as well, advertised through them. So I don't think it's something that you should be afraid of because it's here with us already. And it's just like saying you're afraid of death or you're afraid of malaria or something. I mean, it's with us. So and it's never going to go. Viruses, there are millions of viruses out there, and there are so many that we haven't even discovered yet. And you know the way viruses are always just there dormant until something activates it. So the world would always be susceptible to virus attacks. And that doesn't mean that our world is ended. Our forefathers dealt with this, and they were able to pass the baton on to us. So that's how you got to view it. Is it's a challenge? Yes, it's a challenge, but it's not supposed to get everybody's to be afraid or to be worried. Just see the opportunity there and seize it. That's what I would say. Thank you.
Okay. So my takeaway from that is don't be afraid. Rather, let's see the situation as an opportunity to innovate and tap into, the situation. Okay, so I'll take some questions from Johnson. Johnson saying, my business is in retail of sports and fashion shoes. Sales has really been affected during this COVID season. What are some suggestions that you would help revive sales? To revive sales, what is it used to? What it used to be in pre-COVID or even better? So how can he revive his sales to what it used to be pre-COVID or even better?
So he said he's into sports and fashion.
Yes, sports and fashion shoes.
You know what's interesting? Sports and fashion shoes are actually in vogue now. I've been seeing a lot of people like to wear sneakers with chinos
Mm-hmm.
or with jeans or with native.
Mm-hmm.
It's in vogue. So, and people have now found ways to make sports attire with regular fashion stuff. Even office, I've seen people wear jackets and trousers with sneakers. And the reason it happens is sneakers are very comfortable, easy to move around with. It's good for this period that everybody's in COVID-19. You can easily just take it off and clean it, unlike your regular shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's in fashion, and if you're struggling to sell them, then maybe you need to look at your marketing model and try to have a lot more presence on social media. Try to use that a lot. I have a friend who is also in fashion, and he does very well by just putting very good pictures of some of the shoes that he sells on social media. And he doesn't just put them up, he also shows, he probably gets one or two people to wear them for him. And because people resonate more when they see fashion dresses or shoes or clothes being worn. So he does that and then puts it on his WhatsApp messages as well. And so you got to do a lot of that direct marketing. And remember what I said. What is very key is you don't just say you have shoes that you sell. You got to be able to model them, to spot them, put them out there in the spotlight. Have someone wear it, let people see what it looks like. Because sometimes people just follow trend, and it is when they see someone wear it, it starts to register in their mind. And when it registers in your mind, then you start to believe that it's a trend. I read a book once, and the book was basically trying to explain how things go viral and how things stick. Human beings are very repetitive people. Like in terms of our thinking, we like to see things that we're familiar with, right? So people tend to resonate more with something that they're familiar with. So I give you a story. I give you an example rather. How do you think music? If you listen to music today, you're used to the way music starts, right? Music starts with sometimes with a verse, then a chorus, then a verse, then a chorus, then a verse, and another chorus, and then it ends. If you're a rap music person, like I am, rap music usually start with 16 bars of rap, and then the chorus, and then another verse, then the chorus, and then a third verse, and then it goes off. So why does it happen that way? It's repetition, because human beings resonate more with repetition, with things that sort of follow the same sequence, right? Same way, if you want to watch a movie today, it's with a little bit of the movie title, and then the people who produce the movie, and then the actors, and then you just go straight into the movie, and at the end you see the names of people who, so you're used to that sequence. So it's the same thing that applies to a lot of businesses. So if you are selling fashion, how do people like to buy things? They see, oh, it's nice, I like this on you, really looks good, I want to try it out. So it's the same thing. So it's different from when they just see it hanging somewhere. So if you've got sports shoes, have people wear it, have kids wear it, because I might have a kid at home and I'm saying, I like to have this on my kid. Have your friends wear it, and make sure that the people that are wearing it are people that actually make it really look good. People who have a sense of combination of fashion. And then I think once you start to do that, you can start to move your business. Remember, businesses these days is not about location, right? Because location is no longer physical. Location is now online. So you can be in Kano and people are ordering stuff from you and they think you're in Lagos. They don't need to know that you're in Kano. All they just do is that they see what you have online on social media or on your website, on your feed, and then they want to buy it, and then they call you, and then they get it over to you. So that's what I would say, because like I said, I have friends who are in this business and it's been amazing for them. So you've got to probably look at your marketing strategy and change it so that it's a lot more visual. That's my response.
Okay,
All
thank
right, then.
you, Ugo. So Johnson, we look your marketing strategy, try to create more visibility, content, storytelling, tell stories and visuals, around your product in use, and I think that's it. And Adita, you're saying the next 5 to 10 years, what type of business should I get into?
Interesting question. Early this year, when I had a few of these my talks with entrepreneurs, I sort of believe that the business of the future is not it's a digital identity business. It's a business of people, business that basically deals with how you harness the information that you have. Data privacy is very important, but I think that you've got to understand that people these days are the products, right? So within the boundaries of being of being careful with people's personal information, I think that any business that you do, that you realize that people are the products, are the business of the future. So what do I mean? If you sell shoes today to 1,000, okay, maybe let me say 100 customers. These are your customers that you sell shoes to. So in today's world, what you sell to them are shoes. But in tomorrow's world, that is not what you sell to them. You can sell anything to them in tomorrow's world. It's not only shoes. But you have their information, you have their digital identity. Because of how they wear shoes and the kind of shoes they pick, you have an idea of where they work. You have an idea of their network. You have an idea of their family. You know what the wife would like to wear. You know what the kids would like to wear. So you're not always selling to that guy. Don't see him alone as your customer. See his entire network as your customer. Who are his network of friends and family and loved ones? Because by building a tree of that person, you have an idea of that person's market. So that is like your product. And then you start to realize that you can't only sell shoes to that person. You can sell a lot more stuff to this person. If he likes to wear shoes, he probably likes to wear trousers that goes with the shoes. He probably likes to wear hats that goes with the shoes. He probably likes to wear a nice wristwatch. He probably likes to, where does he go to when he wears those shoes? What kind of cars does he drive? What kind of accessories will he need in the cars that he's driving when he's going to wherever he's going to? Who is he going to meet? What does he like to, what kind of environment does he like to hang out in the evening, maybe with his friends? What would they need? What kind of food does he like to eat? Can you network with other people to, so you can, with one person, you can build an entire market around that guy. So to me, that's kind of like the business of the future. Because I'm not going to say that, it's going to be sports, it's going to be entertainment, it's going to be information technology, because we're in a technological age anyway, and technology is just a facilitator. The business of the future is anyone who can harness the power of technology. So just know that you and I are the products, and so long as we can sell anything to you and I, then that basically is the business of the future. I don't know if you heard what I said. Are you there?
Yes. So basically, see your client as social capital, and then his lifestyle as insight into anything you can do, any business you can conceive. His lifestyle can help create, any business you want to continue. We have another question here. How can SMEs manage its cost of operation during this period with increase in inflation rate and foreign exchange? How can SMEs manage their cost of operations?
There are a number of things that you can do to hedge against inflation, because I think inflation is a challenge everybody's seeing. But you have to have started early. Like I was telling people earlier in the year, I said that try as much as possible to lock down your cost. The things that you want to do with your business. So if there are orders that you need to make, try and make those orders early enough, because nobody really knows where this is going to. In terms of the economy, we don't know whether things are going to be better or whether cost is going to go. In fact, it's very likely that cost will go up. So to manage your cost, I think that you have to do a number of things. One is you need to look at your budget. When I say budget, maybe budget is not the right word. Look at your expenses and take out time to draw out all those things that you pay for on a regular basis and determine the ones that you need to cut off. There are definitely expenses that you incur that maybe are not so necessary. And remember that behavior has changed. So times have changed right now. So some things that you used to do before, you probably no longer need to do them now. So you need to identify what those costs are and get rid of them immediately. And that's the first thing that you need to do now. It doesn't mean that there won't be new costs coming up. There might be some new costs added, but identify those ones that you don't need and get rid of them as quickly as possible. The next thing that you need to do is front your cost as well, because in an environment where um, you know inflation is galloping and the economic indices is volatile, you don't know what might happen next week. It is often better for you to front load your costs. So things that you need to buy now that you need in a few months, why don't you buy them now if you have the money, or have it locked down, maybe pay down some amount so that the price is locked. I'll give you an example. I believe that the cost of ACs, which we all need in our offices, is going to go up by as much as 30% in the next 6 months. Why? Because we don't manufacture AC in Nigeria. So we import ACs, and ACs are what you need in your offices, in your home. So those prices are definitely going to go up. Computers, you need them in your offices. So if you do need 2 or 3 computers because you think you're going to hire some people next week or next year or next quarter, then you start now to front load those costs. And front loading them is basically locking the cost down. Either you by paying parts or paying fully for the cost of those things. And then you also want to renegotiate with all your suppliers rather than negotiate with the middlemen, cut off the middlemen and try as much as possible to negotiate with the direct source. It's going to be difficult because for you to get to that negotiate with direct source, you need to have scale. What it means is that your business must really be huge, that the direct source will be willing to negotiate with you. So you have to explore that opportunity as well, because it might just be there. Try as much as possible to also sit down with your middleman and ensure that the cost that they're giving you is also the best. Also, in terms of your cost input, try as much as possible to ensure that the things that you use in your business are things that have very close substitutes. Because when you have items that have substitutes, then you have opportunity for price. What it means is that you can let me give you an example. A laptop like I use, there are different kind of laptops. So laptops have close substitute. So that way you can always get a laptop for your price. Phones as well have close substitute. So there is a phone you can buy for 30,000 and you still be on social media and online and do all your business that you want to do with that same phone. The only thing is that maybe you need it has a smaller memory or not a very good camera. So your expense line items as well, try as much as possible to make sure that you don't have mono expenses, mono supplier of your expenses. Make sure that it's multi, so you can switch to prices that are lower for you but deliver the same value, or worst case maybe slightly lower value than what you were getting before, because these are very inauspicious times and you don't just want to be spending money unnecessarily. Then you should also take out time to look at your expenditure occasionally. Try and use ratios. I talk about that a few times. I know that people who don't have financial background see this as a little jargon. But ratios are very simple. For example, you can say to yourself, I don't want to spend more than 10% of my revenue on transportation. So if you make 1 million a month in your business, then you're saying you don't want to spend more than 100,000 on transportation every month. So that is 10% of it. So it's very easy. You can set rules like that for yourself. And then you track it occasionally, because that way you are disciplined. And if you don't have financial discipline, then your business is set up for for financial ruin. So you got to give yourself all those kind of targets. Something else that you should try not to compromise. Do not compromise sales. Sales is very important and for your business. So if you have marketers who work for you, try and give them commissions on sales, because it's an incentive for them to continue to sell for you, because that way you create a win-win situation for everybody. you can conversely also give an incentive for cost. So if your business managers or people who are running your business are able to save you X amount of cost every month, then tell them that they get X percentage from that cost savings. Because at the end of the day, everybody wins. So people give commissions on sales, but people don't give commissions on cost savings, right? So, and I think that maybe that's what SMEs will start to look at, because cost right now is very important to everyone more than even anything else, right? So you want to also try and reward people for being able to stay within budget. So I mean, I think that these are in a nutshell some of the nuggets that I can share in terms of how you can manage this very high environment that we'll find ourselves in. Thank you.
Points in my background. Okay. So Tayo is asking again, what financial best practices can I imbibe to weather the COVID-19 storm? Financial best practices.
So what financial best practices could you do? One, I think you need to be prudent. That's the first one. You have to be prudent. Two, you need to have multiple sources of income. It's very important. You gotta have a side hustle that you do. And side hustles are, like I've always told you, are things of passion, something that you're passionate about, that even if it's taking your time, it's taking your time in a way that doesn't also impact your health and also doesn't impact where you actually earn your full money, your main hustle. So try and have that multiple source of income is very important. And then try to have a security deposit. It's very important. That is often said. A security deposit is basically saving a part of your salary. Someone says that you should have at least 6 months of your salary kept away just in case anything happens. It might take you 2 years to be able to save 6 months of your salary, but yeah, I think that it's important that you do so anyway. Keep that away, and it's an investment. It's just 6 months of your salary stashed away somewhere. I also would advise, I think I tell people as well, try and have a part of your money in dollars. Now, the reason why I say that is because of the way Nigeria's exchange rate system has been handled. Nigeria's exchange rate system it's a fixed exchange rate system where the CBN determines the price of the naira on a larger level. However, you can always save some of your money in dollars, because dollars is very important in Nigeria at the moment. So you don't want to be caught, losing the value of your savings because of a devaluation. So if it's possible for you to save some of your money in dollars, do so and keep them away as well. And then finally, investments is good. Try and have investments in securities that can pay you a dividend, or whether pay you a return on that investment. You can invest in FGN bonds, you can invest in treasury bills, you can invest in stock markets, you can invest in agro stocks. There are things that you can invest in. I mean, the returns are not that good these days, but it's still better than keeping the money and doing nothing for you. So try and invest as much as you can. I know that some of us don't earn that much in terms of salary, and the salary is not even enough to feed us, not talk about investing. But I mean, you can always squeeze out one or two things to invest in. And then, like I said earlier, stay on budget. It's very important. Cut your coat according to your cloth, like someone said, not your size. So stay on budget is very important. Avoid unnecessary spending. Yeah, and don't ever try to want to be like all those your Instagram stars that you see. A lot of those things are make believe. Just stay to your budget, and at the end of the day, you'll be better off. Thank you.
Thank you, Ugo. So Kaide is asking, Kaide is a legal practitioner based in Lagos. And he's saying, how can a law firm pivot during post-COVID, knowing that it's essentially legal services that they render? And you should bear in mind that legal lawyers are not allowed to advertise. So they're not allowed to promote or create awareness. So how can they pivot during post-COVID, knowing that the services that they render are not allowed to advertise? To be advertised?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I've always wondered why they say lawyers can advertise. But I think for a lawyer, apart from understanding legal language and understanding laws and being able to interpret laws, because that's really the primary responsibility of a lawyer, being able to interpret laws, either in an explanatory form. Maybe you're trying to explain implication of a law to a company or to an individual, or you're helping companies in contracts, contract documentation or writing a contract, or you're defending somebody in court, or maybe supporting a plaintiff. And then another, job of a lawyer as well is also to, maybe defend people's rights, and all that. And then also to help with filing. So those are what you call the basic, responsibility of a lawyer. But underlying all those things are one basic talent every lawyer must have. And every lawyer must really know how to write. That's very important. Every lawyer, you got to know how to write, and you have to know how you should be vocal as well. You should be able to talk. So I think that being able to write and being able to talk and being able to interpret things is a huge talent on its own, and it's not a talent that you should restrict alone to courts or to legal documents. You can apply it anywhere. My friend that does Big Brother Ebuka, he's a lawyer as well, and he's always sort of thought that his own kind of law. Because I remember speaking to him several years ago, and the kind of law that he wanted to do wasn't, the kind of law that we're seeing that people do. Maybe go to a corporate law firm and all that. He has had a different kind of idea for his practice, and that's what he's doing. So there's entertainment law, that people can do as well. So, but for you, I think that if you've got a job, I don't know whether you have a 9 to 5 or whether you're self-employed. But if you've got a 9 to 5 and you're looking for additional income, I think that a lot of companies wouldn't mind having company secretaries on the side, and I mean they just pay you a token amount quarterly as company secretary, and anytime they have maybe they have a contract to review, or they have some documents to write and they need a lawyer to write it. Okay, you run your own law firm. I can see that. All right. So if you run your own law firm, then I guess maybe your clients are not have basically cut budget. I know that's what's happening. A lot of clients have cut budget drastically because of the lull in business activities. However, like I said earlier, you might want to pivot into different sectors where things are booming. Like I said, I think people who are in the health sector, people who are into fashion, people who are into entertainment, some certain aspects of entertainment, people even into media. I think that that those sectors are booming. So I want to believe the requirements for a lawyer is it's a lot more. You can find a lot more requirement for a lawyer in those sectors rather than the other sectors. Even real estate. I was speaking to a real estate person 2 days ago, and he said that and the kind of real estate boom that they find themselves in the last 3 months, they've not seen it like that before in a long time. And I was shocked. And he's like, a lot of people are buying houses along the Lekki Expressway. And that's quite shocking. And so that means that if people are buying houses, then there's a lot of contracts to be written and to be signed in those places. So you really have to be in the industry where the services are a lot more required. And how you know that is by putting your ears close to the ground and also reading information online, people who were about industries that are booming. And then if you learn about this stuff, you can really find. And if I can take to the power sector, there are estates these days that are signing contracts, power, either premium power and things like that. And they all need services of lawyers. So, I mean, you can, even estates that are being built, real estate that are being built across Lekki Expressway and even on the mainland, you notice that these estates have resident associations, and a lot of them don't have company secretaries. They don't have people who manage their affairs for them. And they always quarrel. I mean, if there's something, if you go to courts, about what I've heard, most estates always have issues. And a lot of this is also because they don't have very well written bylaws. The bylaws are not registered, so there's no accountability. So those are opportunities as well that that I think that you can tap into. So there's a lot of stuff that lawyers can do, but you have to be in the right industry to want to be able to do it as well. And then there's Nigeria of today. There's so many things happening that require legal opinion. One thing that I've often told lawyers is that you gotta actually be out there. There is a very strong relationship between lawyers and media that a lot of lawyers don't seem to know, because there's always something to discuss online in Nigeria every day, in the newspaper, in the news, and lawyers to come out and explain those things. And if you find out there's not a lot of lawyers that you see on TV, it's just the same kind of lawyer. So what are you doing? Like, why don't you have an affiliation with a media organization and always help them with legal interpretation of cases? And what that does for you is an indirect publicity, because at the end of the day, they're going to say that this is coming from this law firm, according to this law firm, according to a legal consultant. And that's on the news. And if you find out, that is what happens with, that's how people like Gani Farimi, even Falano, even Festus Keyamo, they all had all those kind of legal exposures, because it's a very competitive profession, and it's a profession where people who have been there for years can continue to eat for as long as they're dead. So I think that you got to have this kind of relationships. For example, at Nairametrics, we've been looking for lawyers that we can partner with as well to help interpret some of these things, so that we can push out to our audience. So these are just some of the things that I can think of. Now there are probably a lot more things, but these are the ones that I can think of in immediate.
Okay, thank you for that. Najib is making a contribution. It says lawyers cannot advertise, but they can do PR. So you win a landmark case and it ensures it blows up the media with your firm's name in every right story. So you can advertise, you can do advisory, you can do subtle content on social media. Then you just gently put at the end that you're a lawyer. So that way you can key into topical issues. Just write a commentary on topical issues, and then you state below that you're a lawyer. So subtle PR can work for lawyers. Okay, so Ola is asking, creative thinking. Okay, contribution also, lawyers can creatively advertise, as Najib posts up on the comment section. To be creative. So do a weekly write-up, as just I was saying, do a weekly write-up on even a mundane stuff, blog. Find a way to drive traffic to your blog. Write every week. Your challenge may be content as to what you talk about every week. So your challenge might be content. Put out content there and then let them know that you're a lawyer. So you are in their mind space. They remember you. So any more questions? I know that some people don't like to type and they would rather ask their questions themselves. So I want to open up the floor to people that just want to talk. So if you want to talk, you can unmute your mic. Ugo is here for you. Any questions, he's here to answer on how SMEs can successfully navigate post-COVID. Okay, I have a new message. Okay, I think Kaede just saying.
I see someone say hi.
Yes, right up on Facebook and LinkedIn, but that's good. So anybody that wants to ask a question.
But try as much as possible to have a relationship with a media outlet. It helps a lot, not just on Facebook, because media outlet give you a lot more credibility. Because Facebook can just be somebody just ranting, but when you have a media outlet push up a lot of your content, that gives it a lot more bite. So try and have that, maybe 1, 2, 3 media outlets, and occasionally just send them legal reviews and things like that, and they'll be happy to publish it. And you know that your name is underneath. So interestingly, I used to do that a lot as well in the early days of Nairametrics. I had a column in Punch for over 2 years, and I was writing on personal finance then, and I knew that was also enough publicity as well, because I wasn't being paid for it, but I was writing every day passionately, and that also, people notice things like that, even if they don't know that they're noticing it. People know, oh, I know this name, I've seen it somewhere. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what? I have this guy, this law firm always talks about shipping. I have a shipping issue. Contact them. So So that's what I think you should do, not just on Facebook. Try as much as possible to have affiliations with media organizations, and then that would help you. Yeah.
So I also think topical issues, you can find a legal angle to, addressing a topical issue as well, because that's what is creating talkability. People are talking about it. So you find a legal angle to it and you write on it, can also drive engagement and keep you in the mind space of people. Okay, so if we don't have any questions, do we have any questions? The floor is open. In the absence of that, we want to thank Ugo. Ugo, we thank you so much for joining us here. It has been quite an impactful and insightful session, and we look forward to having you again. But before then, I'll just talk briefly on Barino and what we do. And it's been nice collaborating with Nairametrics, your platform. So Barino literally translates to House of Collaboration. So that's actually what we do. So we are a design hub, and we're using design to build human capacity and make social impact. And we do that through the spaces, we're setting up spaces where designers can collaborate, network, learn, and innovate, and explore opportunities for collaborative growth. So our workshop, we just had now, is one of the ways we're doing that. We also have the book club, spoken word Lagos, and a whole lot of others. So we're setting up spaces where designers can work remotely, exhibition halls for your art exhibition, pop-ups. We have a multimedia studio and a multidisciplinary design firm. And we're creating Africa's largest directory for designers and professionals, hubs, publications, and events as well. Then our NGO, the Barino Forum, is an open innovation platform where we're engaging a collective of designers and professionals, having them to innovate solutions to our local problems and solve and make social impact. So we thank you very much for joining this session with Ugo Dre. Ugo Dre, thank you once more. And we look forward to having you at our other workshops. So thank you and have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Any word for the audience? Any parting word?
I mean, all I can say is it's tough times, but be steadfast. Don't see risk, don't see challenges, see opportunities, and then your future would remain bright. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ugo. And thank you, Tayo. It's been in the organizing team with me. Thank you so much. And see you soon. Bye.